Welcome, everybody. It's your girl, Delores, just a pink girl in my pink world, here on every social platform with my good brother, J News. J News, you got something to tell the good people?
It's Sunday. If you're on the East Coast somewhere, you're finna get a blizzard in about an hour or so. Hang tight, stay safe, and make sure you have all your necessities and all that jazz. But for the rest of the world out there, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We're here yet again, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Hit the Roast podcast. We're ready to break down the week that was in pro wrestling. And we should get the show started and on the road.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going over to podcast, ladies and gentlemen. And I always like to put me and J News in the front. We're like, we in the back. And we're going to start off with reviews. Review. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start off with WWE. WWE, the first show is going to be Raw. Raw was on episode 1708 on the 16th on Netflix. We had The Vision, Austin Theory, Bronson Reed, and Logan Paul defeat LA Knight and the Usos of Jay and Jimmy Uso. With an Elimination Chamber qualifying triple threat match where Asuka defeated Bayley and Natty. For the WWE Intercontinental title #1 contendership match, we had Penta defeating El Grande Americano. In a non-title Elimination Chamber qualifying triple threat match, Javon Evans defeated Dominic Mysterio and Gunther. Jay, did you see any of this, and what did you think?
Yeah, interesting episode of Raw. Some interesting bits and pieces continue to happen here. Continuations of certain storylines. We'll start with the first match of the Vision, defeating LA Knight and the Usos. By the end of the match, we had another run-in by the masked man, the masked assailant, whoever this person is supposed to be. They attacked the members of the Vision, specifically Logan Paul, at the commentary table, and then he ran off somewhere. So we're still continuing that particular storyline with the masked man and the Vision. In the Elimination Chamber qualifying triple threat match, Asuka getting the win here was the bit as she goes into Elimination Chamber. Don't necessarily know what they're doing with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. They don't have. I don't think there's anything that's too strong right now as per where they're going with those two ladies. But that's that. Natty, after the match was over, and she went up the ramp side, was attacked by the young lady who used to be the Intercontinental Champion, Maxine Dupree. So they're continuing that particular storyline, but with Maxine Dupree and Natty right now, as they continue to get physical with one another, depending as to whenever they want to blow that match off. It's going to be up to the WWE, either do it at Elimination Chamber or make it some sort of a special attraction match at some show. You know, WWE has a bunch of shows. Penta defeating El Grande Americano for the #1 contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. Saw this coming. We continue to see later down the road, Dolores will go over that particular show for AAA. Penta getting into it with Dominic Mysterio and things of that nature. So they're creating that storyline between Dominic and Penta and things of that nature. El Grande Americano still being involved with Dominic Mysterio as well. And also not to forget El Original Grande Americano being involved in this storyline as well. So things fractioning and branching off of this particular universe here with El Grande Americano and Dominic Mysterio and things of that nature. So we'll see as to what develops there. And then for the qualifying match here, the surprise of the night was that Javon Evans got the win here over Dominic Mysterio and Walter. And at the end of the day, he goes on to Elimination Chamber. So I'm sure that Javon will be doing his best to generate as many awe-inspiring spots as possible inside the chamber. And yeah, that was Raw in a nutshell.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Elimination Chamber, even though some have been filled in since last week, the preview will show from what they had set up last week. Also, AAA's episode number 7 of their show is not scheduled to come on to the 28th. So we won't be going over the AAA show for the 28th. I know they had was it Reyes, Delores? Then we covered that last week on the 14th. And so they're spacing out shows when it comes to, like, I don't know, because WWE's pay-per-views are coming up, but I noticed that sometimes they skip or they have little specials or montages. But I know something did come on last night on YouTube, but it was more like just kind of recaps of different things. It wasn't nothing major. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back in the back, just like that. And we're going to go over to NXT, which happened on the next night on the 17th. It was episode 825 on the CW. We had Kalani Jordan defeating Lola Vase. We had Tony D'Angelo defeated Cutler James for the WWE NXT Tag Team title, number 1 contendership, fatal 4-way match. We had the Vanity Project, Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes defeat Hank and Tank, which is Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, and OTM, which is Bronco Lima and Lucian Price, and the culling of Nico Vance and Sean Spears. We have for the WWE Speed title, number 1 contendership title, final match ending in a time limit draw. Surprisingly, as you all see, I was surprised it ended in a time limit draw because their time limit draws 3 minutes. They don't care. LA Knight and Elio Lafleur. For the WWE NXT North American title match, Ethan Page retained his title against Shiloh Hill. Jay News, did you see this and what did you think about it?
So to point out the things that stood out to me during the show, Kalani Jordan versus Lola Vice stood out to me because the girls got extremely physical during this match. So I got to give them credit where credit is due there. Kalani Jordan actually getting the win over Lola Vice was a bit surprising to me, especially seeing as to where Kalani is slotted currently on the NXT roster, and Lola being as popular as she is. But hey, a win is a win is a win. So hopefully this drives something for Kalani's future at NXT. Tony D getting a win over Cutler James was not surprising, so that's not necessarily too important as to what's going on right now. Tony D's storyline was really, how can I say this? Tony D's storyline was really intertwined with Ava's character, Ava being the former GM of NXT, now her being gone, and Robert Stone not necessarily having a specific beef with Tony D, takes a little bit away from the storyline that Tony D had going. So I'm not too sure as to what they're going to continue to do with Tony D going forward. Maybe he gets his NXT title shot, maybe he doesn't. Who knows? For the NXT Tag Team title number 1 contendership four-way match, I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't have much interest here. The tag teams right now in NXT don't do much for me, but the Vanity Project seems to be getting a push. That's the fact of the matter. So they'll be the ones going up against whoever the NXT Tag Team Champions are currently. And honestly, I can't even recall who the NXT Tag Team Champions are. I think it's still the boys from Dark State, but I could be wrong. So there's that. The Vanity Project continues to get a push on NXT TV. Eli Knight and Elio LaFleur, 3 minutes. The boys did as much as they could within that 3 minutes. Time limit draw. I would imagine there's probably going to be a 3-way match for the Speed title sometime down the road. So that's my logic in thinking about it. And then Ethan Page continues his quote unquote historic reign as NXT North American champion as he defeated Shiloh Hill, who seems to be one of the mainstays in the men's mid-card to upper mid-card part of the roster.
Yes, Dark State is the NXT champions. As you said, I'm not interested in those. For those who don't know, we've been on this journey. I've been sick since December. So if you see me popping in and out or you hear my voice, just leave me. That's what it is. I'm barking. So we're gonna go on to the next show, which is going to be after me and Jay News go to the back. It's going to be SmackDown. SmackDown took place on this past Friday. Don't go too far. This past Friday. It was episode 1383 on the 20th on USA Network. We had Tama Tonga defeat Ilya Dragunov. We had an elimination qualifier triple threat match where Kiana James defeated Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax. We had Oba Femi defeat Kit Wilson. We had Tiffany Stratton defeat Alba Fire. And a non-title elimination chamber qualifying triple threat match, Trick Williams defeated Carmelo Hayes and Damian Priest. We had a non-title match where Rhea Ripley and Julia ended in a DQ. And Aleister Black defeated Randy Orton. Jay News, did you see any of this or what did you think about it?
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Dolores here. Wasn't the Aleister Black defeating Randy Orton match also for a spot in the Elimination Chamber, or am I bugging?
I don't think so. I
No?
can't remember.
Okay.
Let me double check. I'm gonna double
because for whatever reason I thought it was, but if it's not, that's fine. But to go through it, just to mention this yet again, just my personal opinion here. I don't know what the WWE is doing with Ilya Dragunov's booking. When he came back, they booked him so strongly, and he went through the ringer with his United States Championship Open Challenge thing, and it made him look like the best wrestler on the planet, and he's one of those guys, and he's been losing ever since, and now losing to Tama Tonga. And I understand Tama Tonga's a storyline and or motivation right now is to go after the U.S. Championship, which is currently being held by Carmelo Hayes. And yeah, I'm just, nothing against Tama Tonga. Like, yeah, go after the championship there. Hopefully whenever he ends up having that match versus Carmelo Hayes, it goes well. But I just don't necessarily know what the WWE is going to be doing with Ilya Dragunov going forward. So that's just my take on that. The Elimination Chamber qualifying match, Kiana James defeating Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax. Yet again, something that the WWE did here for not shits and giggles, but to do something new, right? I think the WWE has a lot of faith in Kiana James, especially with what she's been doing with Julia in recent weeks and months. So her getting a win here puts her in a good position in the eyes of the WWE. So we'll see as to what happens here with Kiana James being in the Elimination Chamber. Obafemi defeating Kit Wilson was just what it was. It was basically a squash match, but they let Kit Wilson get his shtick off before the match even started, calling Obafemi toxic, and then him reciting some poetry or whatever have you. The comedic bit of the show.
He had to come back because he got obliterated by R-Truth last week, so he had to come back and try to say something to somebody. It was just like R-Truth, and R-Truth had all of them, including Kit and Stitches, last week, where it's like Kit trying not to laugh, but he couldn't help it. So I was like, so you got to come back at somebody, but you shouldn't have picked Obafemi. That wasn't the one you should have been trying to roast, because he ended up beating you he just walked you like a dog, and I was like, Kit, is Kit going to be the character where he gets to the point where he's so mad, like R-Truth when he left and came in, he gets so mad that he starts to win?
We'll see. I feel like Kit Wilson's more in that realm of like a Joe Hendry, right? He's a comedy guy with a great entrance and things of that nature. And Kit's not a bad wrestler. He's a terrific talent in the ring at the end of the day. But this is what they have him doing. This is the WWE style of things, and for all intents and purposes, it works for their show. So hey, as long as the fans are eating it up, then you're going to continue to do it. I wanted to say something. Yes, Obafemi. Obafemi had a match on Raw last week, and this week he had a match on SmackDown. Obafemi has yet to decide which brand he's going to be on. So that it seems to be Obafemi's current storyline angle, where his decision as to where he's going to land on, what brand he's going to land on. So keep an eye on that. Tiffany Stratton defeating Alba Fire was a nice match for Tiffany and Alba. I don't necessarily know what they're doing with Tiffy right now. But yeah, there's that of it. The non-title elimination chamber qualifying match, they had to title it non-title because Carmelo Hayes was involved. But Trick and Carmelo Hayes had some interaction during this match. For those folks who are fans of NXT, they know that Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams go way back, and they have a history.
Mellow gang.
Yeah, Trick Mellow gang, man. Hopefully they're able to transition and continue to tell that story on main roster WWE TV when the time comes. But Trick getting the win here, getting some more new blood into the Elimination Chamber match with Trick Williams winning. Rhea Ripley defeating Julia via DQ. I forget who got involved here, but it wasn't Kiana James. I think it was yes, the Irresistible Forces. It was freaking Lash Legend and Nia Jax who got involved in this match. So it seems that we'll be seeing Rhea Ripley and Io Sky take on the Irresistible Forces for those women's tag team titles sometime down the road. And then, like I said to Dolores earlier, I'm not. I for
single match, because when I went back, I thought about it. All the qualifying matches have been triple threats.
Gotcha. All right. So Aleister Black gets a win over Randy Orton here. Ever since Aleister's return to WWE, his booking's been kind of weird. So him getting a win over Randy, is it a positive thing in the WWE universe? Sure. Where is this gonna go? I don't know.
I think him and his wife both have decided to, like some other wrestlers, use WWE as a stepping stone to like their merchandise, what they sell, what he's been doing offline. He's been getting on Twitch too with her. Like all of those things, they've used that as a stepping stone. And that's also something that I posed a question to somebody offline about, with Mick Foley leaving the WWE universe, like leaving his contract. They were promoting his stuff, his one night stands and all the rest of these things. So how does he continue to, he has a fan base, but do they continue to support him if they don't see him on their product that they watch consistently? Undertaker has done it. Cody has done it. I think a lot of people have now used WWE as a way to get their products or the things that they're doing out there. So that was another thing. I know that he seems to be content where he's at.
Sure. No. And from my understanding of what the want here was for Aleister, Malachi, Tommy End, whatever you want to call him at the end of the day, I was always a fan of him as a character and his in-ring work. I just feel like his booking on WWE TV since his return has been inconsistent, and then also his appearances have been inconsistent at that. So I'm not too sure if he was injured or if he was sick or whatever have you, but this was Aleister's first time back on TV in a while. Zelina's been on TV, but yet, they it's been very hot and cold with Zelina over the years. So, but like you said, Dolores, a very good point. People are content where they are, which is fine. It's their lives. They get to do what they want with it. It's just like, yet again, my only my perspective of it is that, the booking is inconsistent and then their appearances are inconsistent. So it's like, how much is the launching pad of the WWE really working for them when they're not on there on a regular basis? You know what I'm saying? Exposure is a thing to marketing, is a very important part of marketing. And if you're not on TV and if you're not being used on whatever product and promotional material that is out there, then what's the use of the platform for, essentially? You know what I'm saying? So there's a question to be had there. But yet again, I said, Aleister Black getting a win over Randy Orton. Randy has, this history in the WWE at the end of the day. and it would garner it to be a big win for Aleister Black. But where does it go from here? Where does Aleister go from here? Who does he face off with here? How
He has to face a couple because they've been having Zelina kind of interfere.
Mhm.
And that's something that they do a lot, where it's like, soon as the couple kind of works together to cheat to win, they have to go up against another couple or a
Yeah,
pair. That's
you know what?
that's the WWE thing.
Right. Good to thank you for pointing that out, Dolores, and that's why I'm saying I have issue with the booking and the way they create their matches, because Aleister Black, the character, right? He's never needed that. At least from my standpoint, right? And I understand, get to work with your wife, do what it is that you want, but from a character standpoint, he's never needed the assist, right? He was more of a aura, feel, vibe guy, or whatever the case is.
Yeah,
And
when he was
then
in the cult, he had assistance. When he had that little cult, he had he had a little bit of assistance.
what cult?
With Buddy.
Oh, but that was AEW. You was
Yeah,
using
but
them
I
as a
say
trio.
they would cheat every once in a while to help him out or whatever. So it became a. I think WWE is trying to do that with Zelina, but it's not working.
Yeah, no, even in AEW, to your point, Dolores, he didn't need it, right? But at the same time, in AEW, they weren't using him as a single star. They always had him in the group, and I understand he wanted to do singles wrestling. Going back to WWE, he's doing it, but yet again, it's like I feel like he's lost the mysticism, the aura that he had about him coming back and things of that nature. So, I just want what's best for him and his character on TV. And right now, it just seems kind of flat for all
Yeah.
intents and purposes. So hopefully this win over Randy does something for him.
Before we leave WWE, because as we said, AAA didn't have anything. We had some things happen this week. First, after we got offline last week, Bianca dropped these videos documenting her journey into having and after having surgery on her finger, but she had a lot of scar tissue and it wasn't healing right. So that's why she had to have surgery. So shout out to her. We did get some news that shocked me that near WrestleMania in Vegas, they are trying to prevent watch parties at bars. So they're essentially trying to force you not to go to a bar, watch it with some people where they pay the one fee and kind of force you to come to WrestleMania. Because if you don't know, ticket sales are low. Third thing, they did drop a documentary behind the scenes thing for AJ Styles for after the match to see a lot of these people like openly knowing the cameras there. Some people try to be like tough, but a lot of people who were heartfelt, sincere, like to see Charlotte crying in his arms or see Xavier crying in his arms. It was a lot to see that they really truly will miss him. And for that, we got a shocking announcement that tomorrow we will have an AJ Styles farewell Monday Night Raw here in the great state of Georgia. So can't wait to see it. I wanted to buy tickets, but I think paying almost close to $800 or be in the rafters for like $100 was not worth it. And then you got me and my family, and so that's like a house payment at that point. And I was like, you know what? I'll watch at home. So those are some of the things that have been happening in the WWE universe. J News, how do you feel about any of those things?
Yeah, I remember on Raw that they started to promote the AJ Styles tribute show, and then they also promoted it on SmackDown. And like you said, they played all the videos and stuff like that. I'm wondering what this is about. I'm wondering if he's gonna be,
Did J News on me? Am I froze?
What happened?
No, I said I thought you were froze, but I think it might have been me. Let me see.
No. I wonder if they're going to be nudging him out of retirement during this particular tribute show for him. We shall see as to what goes down with AJ Styles. You mentioned first the video of Bianca doing her rehab for her finger, finally getting the surgery that was necessary in order for her to hopefully to regain the full range of motion and usage of her finger after the injury that happened last year during WrestleMania. For those folks who were afraid that Bianca was not afraid, but for those folks who were bringing up that there was a possibility that Bianca was pregnant and things of that nature, did not look that way to me. So
when she got it showed off, I was like, oh, okay. So why was you hiding your stomach the whole time? Like she was doing the whole time she been off. She been cropping pictures. Her hands have been in the pictures. We've seen her hands the whole time, and I'm like, so is her hands okay? Because you hiding your stomach. Like I don't understand this. Montez is showing that he done got a little chubby. But then I think some pictures came out yesterday or today where Montez was helping her with the physical therapy of her finger. And I died laughing because he was like looking at her like because he knew he was putting her in pain. He was just looking at her like, okay, I got to do this. Don't be taking this against me. And she was like, I'm glad that because she couldn't even you could see the progression. She could barely move it.
She could barely move
it. Now she can like bend it and it's got a little bit more movement in it. Also, I enjoyed that she allowed Montez to take pictures of her, like a video of her. You see her happy before surgery. She's in her gown, and then afterwards, she is high as a kite. She is just floating, and I was like, those are the videos that you rarely see of like they always show you the good things, never the things that are like goofy and funny or regular people do that. We don't really see like superstars or WWE people do that kind of like openness and honesty.
Yeah, no, I thought that was cool, and this way. It's like I said last week, Dolores. It updates the fans. I get that people want to be private about certain things and whatnot, but now you're setting a clear line expectation for her and a possible return. Now folks can stop talking about whether she's pregnant or not and things of that nature. So there's that about it. And then there was a third thing that you mentioned as well, Dolores. If you could remind me about what that was, because you mentioned
about Vegas, them trying to stop watch party bars.
Right. So just to be specific for folks watching and stuff like that, Vegas is stopping watch parties in Vegas, right? So if you're in Las Vegas for WrestleMania weekend, there are going to be no bars, no hotels, and no small businesses within a 50-mile radius, not 50-mile radius that can even pay to have WrestleMania being viewed on TVs and things of that nature. So yeah, man, Vegas is going out of their way. They're really trying to get these ticket sales up for WrestleMania and things of that nature. Right now, ticket sales are in.
I can only imagine if a Monday Night Raw for me is almost like $800 for one ticket. WrestleMania got to be so high. You got to be putting rent for a couple of months down to get a ticket to see. And so I think the ticket prices are very much. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know I love Cardi B. I've repeated that billions of times. But Cardi B tickets, especially on the floor, were cheaper than WWE.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I
think it's sold out. And like she's been like 6 places that have been sold out. And they have select tickets that are available that are like getting snatched. I was on the ticket website when I was seeing people snatching them, and they were cheaper than WWE.
It makes sense, and I think for all intents and purposes, folks need to understand. There's a lot of different things that have gone into WWE ticket prices skyrocketing. Right at the end of the day, there's a lack of house shows now. So the volume of revenue that used to come into the WWE is different. So they're trying to make up for it with higher ticket prices for the bigger shows and things of that nature. That's one, and I'm not justifying or defending. I'm just letting y'all know what it is. But secondarily, there is also the argument out there, that if Vince was still in charge, this wouldn't be happening. And I would
they don't use
say
their money wisely either. They
no,
don't
they
use
don't.
it wisely.
They don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
that new WWE building they bought. If people do not realize, it popped up to me. So I'm like, if it came to me and I would just scroll through the internet, I know it's on somebody else FYP, but some brothers, I'm gonna say it like that, decided to go into the old WWE building at night, and they had free reign to run around this building, and nobody knew they were there. They left valuable posters. They left gym equipment. They left. It's not like, you know how like you have seen somebody when they about to get evicted and they just pick up all they can and they leave all the rest of the stuff. That's what it looked like. And I'm like, you are WWE, and this building is massive. We've seen the video in like when they show document, but we've never seen it where like people are real time filming, walking through the building. It is massive. And it's like, you moved buildings for what? That building was just good enough. And that's empty. And you got people ransacking and looting it. And where was the purpose? It's like expensive desks, chairs, equipment, posters, everything. It just looked like they just packed up the essential things. I think there was even like one of the boys said there was like a document there. They left a lot of expensive things in there for what, to move to another building that you're not gonna do what in? That new building is just fancy for no reason. You could have took the old building and made it a museum. Something. But now we're going through, that's just wasting money. And then the house shows are just, they're not as good as they used to be, because I see clips of them and it's more like, I'm gonna be honest and I'm not being judgmental. When Cody does the house shows, he's the only one that's really, him and Rhea, EO, and CM Punk sometimes when he does it. They're the only people that are really interacting. Damian Priest does sometimes. They're really interacting with the crowd, getting the crowd hyped to even want to go buy a ticket the next night to see Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. So if you're not engaging with the people who are at the lower levels who are paying just to come see you and it's not on TV, why would I want to come and see you and pay extra like hundreds of dollars for? It's the excitement. There's matches I don't want to, like, even for Friday Night SmackDown, let's see. Ooh, no, not that one. They have dark matches now instead of house shows. These dark matches, when you really look at them, you think to yourself, what sense does it make? Okay, these are the dark matches that happen on Friday Night SmackDown. Royce Keys defeated Chris Sabian. Ray Phoenix defeated Angel. That was it. 2 dark matches that didn't have nothing to do with a storyline. Like, what's Royce Keys fighting Chris Sabian for? Is this going to be a long-term, like, normally we used to do dark matches where I would say, okay, this is about to be a feud. I don't see that being a good feud or even a feud I want to see. I saw 99 times over the past few months, Cody was facing Carmelo Hayes. That didn't turn out to be anything at all. That was just a waste of my time. So if I was going to these house shows or going early to see these matches, I was just wasting my time. It's not something I'm going to see on TV. So why am I even going? WWE, you got to do better. You got to do better. I fuss at AEW all the time about little simple stuff that is not even that harsh to me. But for you all, y'all are dropping the ball hard. And now you're eliminating people who could, these bars and stuff are now losing patrons. Because it's like, if I can't bring you in to watch WrestleMania because you can't get a ticket, then that's money I could get. I could fill up this bar full of people. And that to me, that's hurting businesses. but you'll fly to Saudi Arabia and have like 90 different events. That, to me, that's I hate that small businesses or these bars, even big name businesses, bars and stuff, are losing out of money because WWE is being greedy.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
We're going back to the back. As I've already told you all, AAA didn't have anything, so we're going to move on to AEW, All Elite Wrestling. Oh, also, Jalen, before we get to All Elite Wrestling, back to WWE, I want to shout out all of those. I don't know if you saw the video. I think she put it up yesterday, maybe a day before yesterday. From Asia, the referee who lost her 4 family members in the fire.
I saw about that. Yeah, sometime last week I read about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rhea Ripley and some other people, and some people put a GoFundMe up for her. They contribute, some strangers, some, a lot of people, and she got online, I think it was yesterday, to tell the people that she really appreciated. She was helping her dad. Her dad wanted to be on the video, but she ended up being at home alone. And she was just like, I really appreciate you all, because she got emotional. She was shaking. She literally, her hands were shaking. She's like, I don't know how I could do this to bury 4 people. I didn't have the money, and you all helped me be able to cover everything and help support my dad. So she was very appreciative of everybody's help. And the one thing that struck her was because she shares a lot on social media, and if you don't know, I refer to her as like everybody else. She's Ref Bay, because she's cute, and I was like, okay. And she was like, what? She was on the phone with someone, and somebody said, you got all this love because you give out all this love on social media. And she talks to her fans, and she's very open about this dream to become a part of the WWE. And so she was like, if this is what I get, because I love you all so much, I can't wait to show you even more love. And so I think that was really nice. And I appreciate everybody who's contributed to her, because if you don't know, when you have multiple deaths at once, my grandmother and her sister were killed at the same time. That's a lot of stress. 2 families, it can be 5 families, whatever. That's a lot of stress on a family, period, to lose one person, but let alone lose 2 people. So I was giving my thanks and my congrats to people, because to see her like shaken from all the love that she got and she received, and that she was really appreciative of everybody, that I really enjoyed it. And she's married to a wrestler. I forgot his name. He used to be with WWE. But yeah, that was really nice. That's a good wrestling story.
So to end the WWE universe portion of the podcast here, shout out and well wishes and speedy recovery to Roxanne Perez. Yeah. Roxanne this past week had surgery to have a mass removed from her back. Very I don't necessarily, no one knows the specifics as to what it was. Hopefully it wasn't anything serious, but speedy recovery to Roxanne. Roxanne Perez has made quite the impact since she's joined the main roster. She's a hell of a wrestler. She's also very young as well, so she's got time. Hopefully she everything is well with her, and she recovers, and she's able to get back to doing what it is that she does. And it's nothing that will impede her health going forward. So I just wanted to mention
no, it won't impede her health. Actually, since Roxanne has time off, she decided to go to TikTok. And so she did her real, like, she's done videos, but not like dancing, talking videos. But she sat down for like a get ready with me makeup time, where she talked about getting the mask removed. She did not want to get it removed. She didn't want to take any time off. WWE made her take time off. And she's grateful. She's up, moving around. She was sitting up in the chair. She's like, I feel a lot better. I just, I hate that I have to take time off, but this is what everybody agreed this was best for me. And she talked about her boyfriend being very supportive of her, who is the wrestler, and the things that she's going to do, and that she's going to be more active on social media because everybody's been saying for her to be more active and do more things, and now that she has time off, she plans on doing that to kind of get herself out there, which is a good investment because if you all do not know, social media pays. So if she get herself out there, get things done, get either brand deals or different other things, this is the opportunity for her to get it while she has the time off, and kind of work on bettering life outside of WWE, so she'll have something in case something happens. Lord forbid it does. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, we're gonna go back in the back because that's the end of the WWE world. AEW Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen. AEW Dynamite was on the 18th. Let's switch over now. If you switch over, there we go. On the 18th, where we had it was on TBS, HBO Max, episode 333, and we had the AEW Continental Title Eliminator match. Sorry, Jon Moxley defeated Mark Davis. For the AEW TBS Title 4-way match, Willow Nightingale kept her championship by defeating Marina Shafir, Megan Bayne, Mina Shirakawa. The Conglomeration, which is Orange Cassidy, Tomohiro Ishii, defeated the Bullet Club War Dogs, Bullet Club War Dogs of Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd. We had the Brawling Birds of Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter defeat B3CCA and Viva Van. We had Kevin Knight defeat the Beast Mortis, and the match that I was happy about, it was the Swerve Strickland defeating Kenny Omega. Did you see this, J News, and what did you think about it?
Yeah, I saw the show. I liked the show. The online response to the show was great. A lot of people calling it the best episode of Collision in quite some time. And I want to give some pushback on this, and not in a negative way. AEW's been on a roll since a little bit before the Continental Classic. So calling this the best episode of Dynamite is like calling last week's show the best episode of Dynamite. AEW's been on a roll lately with Dynamite and Collision. They've been doing positive things on TV, and they are making things work on the fly. I mentioned that because this episode specifically on the 18th, they had to battle a little bit of adversity. AEW as a company. Unfortunately, a few of the talents backstage got sick during their trip to Australia, and there were some injuries. So there were some last minute injuries that were reported into AEW for certain talents as well. So there was a reason as to why we saw the matches that we did on Dynamite and Collision. But to go through the card, we had Jon Moxley versus Mark Davis in a knockdown, drag out, physical, big, meaty men slapping man meat match. Shouts to Mark Davis for doing his best to continue to show his worth to the AEW faithful, the sickos, and and just in general, man, just making sure that people don't forget about him and think of him as just a tag team wrestler. But Jon Moxley retained there. Jon Moxley still having his individual beef with fellow DCF member of Mark Davis's, that being Konosuke Takeshita. Jon Moxley put out the challenge to Takeshita for a no time limit match for the AEW Continental Championship that will happen at Revolution. So it's going to be Jon Moxley one-on-one versus Konosuke Takeshita with no time limit. So there must be a winner in that match. The AEW TBS Women's Title 4-way match was a banger. The girls went all out here. Props to all of them, man. Willow, Marina, Megan, Mina Shirakawa, man. Putting them together in all this, I didn't know what to expect, but when I was watching the match, and I was like, oh yeah, the girls are going all out. I appreciate this. Marina Shafir got into it with Megan Bayne a bit here and there, so there's a little dissension between Marina Shafir and Megan Bayne. Nothing too crazy, but that can escalate at any time. Mina Shirakawa doing her damnedest right now to continue to spotlight herself whenever she gets TV time, and Willow Nightingale continue to be Willow Nightingale here, and prove out to be one of the biggest stars in the women's division and one of the better baby faces in all of professional wrestling, and she retained in this match. The conglomeration match was an audible match. It was supposed to be Orange Cassidy teaming with Roderick Strong. They're continuing to, and it kind of not kind of, it ended up working out well. Because we do have Roderick Strong not wanting to be a part of the conglomeration and Roderick creating that rift with Orange Cassidy. But Roderick Strong was actually one of the talents that got sick over the week and things of that nature. So they had they had to bring in Big Tom, aka Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull, for this conglomeration match. There was a scare during the match for AEW and Big Tom because people thought that Tomohiro Ishii tore his hamstring during the match and things of that nature. But the reality of it all is that he slightly pulled something, but he didn't tear anything. They dodged a bullet, as the report said. So that match with the War Dogs went the way that I thought it was going to go. The War Dogs continuing their ascent on AEW TV. I cannot confirm that the Bullet Club War Dogs are all elite or signed with AEW. But from the looks of things, Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd are no longer contracted to New Japan specifically. And they don't have any upcoming dates with New Japan either. So I'm not too sure if AEW is just doing the per date thing or if they have a dual contract or if they're just signed to AEW. But we will see. After being defeated by the conglomeration, Darby Allin did come out of the crowd and he kidnapped Gabe Kidd at the end of the day. So they're continuing their feud. There, in my estimation, from the logic of everything, Gabe Kidd, every time he cuts a promo, keeps on saying and threatening Darby Allin by saying that he's gonna have Darby Allin pushing up daisies. And Darby Allin has had previous casket matches on AEW pay-per-view and TV before, so I think we're probably going to lean towards Gabe Kidd versus Darby Allin in a casket match at some point, probably at Revolution. So look out for that. Clark Connor's still doing good work in the ring, and he's starting to get his flow on the microphone. I'll speak about that when we get to Collision. The Brawling Birds made their debut. Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter. They took on Becca and Viva Van. Becca, a indie star standout in the West Coast. She got 2 matches on AEW TV over the weekend and things of that nature. So I guess AEW was taking a look at her. She has a background in gymnastics and powerlifting and things of that nature. And Becca's done a lot of different work with the indies on the West Coast. So keep an eye out for her as well to see if she makes more appearances on AEW TV. Viva Van, 2 weeks in a row, we see her on Dynamite competing. So that's good for Viva to continue to be on TV and continue to get those reps. And the Brawling Birds looked strong in their debut as a tag team. Kevin Knight versus the Beast Mortos was also an audible match that was called on the fly here. That was added to the show. Beast wasn't even supposed to be at the show. He got called in last minute. They flew him out. He had a match versus Kevin Knight, and that match was a banger. The crowd in Sacramento was into that match from beginning to end, and they were loving it. And then the main event, man, what can I say? What can I say about the main event that people haven't said already? Swerve Strickland versus Kenny Omega was a banger of a match. It told a terrific story. It also created a way with Kenny Omega being getting the loss here. It created a way to write Kenny Omega off of TV with the post-match angle, Swerve Strickland putting Kenny Omega through a table with a vertebraker and things of that nature. And people continue to say, Swerve turned heel. Swerve turned heel. I don't necessarily ever think or ever thought that Swerve was a babyface. I think that Swerve lives in that gray area for people and things of that nature. Swerve Strickland is thought of very highly as an in-ring competitor, professional wrestler, but he's also one of the spotlight characters on AEW TV and things of that nature. So Swerve doing service to his character and things and whatnot. Where Swerve goes from here, don't necessarily know. But I don't think that to rephrase. I think that continuing to spotlight Swerve means that he's going to continue to stay in that AEW championship picture. So we'll see as to how that continues to develop over time. But another solid banger episode of AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday.
Yes. Jay News is about to come back here with me because we're going to go over to Ring of Honor, ROH, ladies and gentlemen. Also, if you saw. I saw somebody. I haven't gotten the new WWE video game, but supposedly they're supposed to have the CM Punk ROH character in it and the music. I thought because
in the WWE video game, you're saying?
Yeah, you know, like how sometimes they'll let you incorporate the certain things into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had the CM Punk ROH character, the long curly blonde locks, the music. They had the crowd chanting along with it, rocking the guardrails, and I was like, normally WWE don't let you get that far when incorporating stuff into the game. So is it something that former like ROH people, I don't know, they can use certain things from ROH or whatever? Because I know certain names and certain things used to be no-go on WWE that now they're fine with people using. So I don't know. It's just
from what I always understood, but specific to CM Punk didn't have like the music. His entrance music wasn't something that was made by Ring of Honor. It was like not regular.
Okay,
but
so maybe that's why they were able to use it. And
they were able to license the song or whatever the case was. Yeah,
ROH looking. I mean, they had the whole face, the curly, and I'm looking at. I'm like, I know this is not an ROH video game, and he's coming to a WWE ring, and I was like, that might encourage me to get it. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, ROH. It was on the 19th on ROHWrestling.com on the app. It was episode 154. ROH World Tag Team Title Match. La Facción Ingobernable, which is Sammy Guevara and the Beast Mortals, defeated Top Flight of Dante and Darius Martin. Then Michael Oku and the Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross Von Erich, defeat O'Day, OSP, and Timur the Great. Listen, most of the time when I'm watching ROH, I'm also doing 9 other things. So when I hear their name, it goes straight through my ear. Persephone defeated Julissa. We had Dalton Castle and the Outrunners, Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd defeat KM, Nathan Cruz, and Rosario Grillo. We had Lance Archer defeat Will Alday. And then we had Bandito, Commander, Mascara Dorada, Zelua defeat the premier athletes of Arya Davari, Tony Nese, The Swirl, Blake Christian, and Lee Johnson. J-News, did you see any of these matches, the clips of them, and what did you think?
So the only things that stood out from this episode of ROH on Honor Club was the women's match, Persephone versus Julissa Mexa, seemed to impress not only the crowd but also people in the back at AEW. Persephone is one of the talents with a dual contract, both with AEW and CMLL, and Julissa Mexa came in with a not a highly regarded, but a regarded background. Julissa Mexa is a former NXT talent who decided to leave WWE and NXT due to some issues she had with trainers and things of that nature. I'll leave that there. But Julissa Mexa, in her match versus Persephone, showed out and she impressed a lot of the fans on social media. Definitely impressed with Julissa Mexa. People asking Tony Khan to sign her already and whatnot. I've been waiting for a few years for Julissa to get a chance on American TV again. She had been doing a lot of the Mexican independents, and she had been doing rounds also on the major Mexican companies as a talent, be it AAA or CMLL. And now that she got a chance here on ROH versus Persephone, hopefully Tony Khan keeps an eye on her, because she's definitely a tremendous talent, and hopefully we'll see more of her in the future with AEW/ROH. And then also to bring about the multi-man match with Bandito, Commander, Mascara Dorada, and Jelua versus the Premier Athletes. These dudes flew around the ring, the Premier Athletes in the Swirl, and they did crazy lucha things and lucha spots, and it was a highly entertaining match. So those two matches completely stood out to me. It was cool to see Michael Oku back on ROH TV. For a long period of time, Michael Oku was thought to have been signed with AEW as well, but there's been no confirmation or validity behind that. Michael Oku continues to work the UK Indies, and he'll have his spells with ROH or on AEW TV from time to time during the year. But it was cool to see him. It was cool to see the Von Erichs back on TV, as I think that the boys, Ross and Marshall, have bright futures ahead of them. So I want to continue to them. I want to continue to see them grow and evolve as performers and professional wrestlers with AEW and ROH. And I want them to also venture out and go elsewhere as well, to continue to hone their craft and things of that nature. Maybe go to places that are international, be it a Japan or a Mexico or the UK and whatnot, so they can continue to get those reps. But those are the main things that I took out of this past week's episode of ROH.
Yes, and to speak on to Jalissa, for those, because I know a lot of people who couldn't quite understand what she was trying to say, or even that some other people in the past have said about some of the trainers and some of the employees at WWE. There's a list of emails coming from people out there in the world that happened to mention a person who had problems with WWE and didn't like what happened to her and how things were handled through the WWE system. I would like to say we need to start taking people more seriously, not dismissing what people have to say and their experiences. Yes, some experiences, I've seen some stories where it's like, not stories from women, but just stories from people where it's like, I left this company, I broke my toenail, they didn't take care of it. That's dismissive. But when these women are saying to you, you should be heed, and then now that things are coming to light, you should be more trustful and supportive of people. Not just always think it's the WWE versus whoever leaves. That's not the case. People leave for a reason. A lot of their reasons are valid. Okay, I would say just about majority I've heard 99.9% are valid. Okay, so that's my only thing is that I respect her wrestling. I hope she gets opportunity at AEW. I just wish more people would not be so hateful and harsh. But listen, open your ears, and then there have been other examples, so you probably should take heed. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go in the back. And guess what happened yesterday? It was Collision. Episode 132 on the 21st on TNT, HBO Max. We had Jet Set Rodeo, which is Adam Page, Kevin Knight, and Mike Bailey defeat the Demand of Bishop Kong and Ricochet and Toa Leona. With the Young Bucks of Matt and Nick Jackson defeat the Swirl of Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. For the CMLL World Heavyweight title match, we had Claudio Castagnoli defeat Josh Alexander. We had Megan Bain defeat Becca. We had the Don Callis family, which is El Colon, Konosuke Takeshita, and Mark Davis defeat the Death Riders of John Moxley, Pac, and Willa Yuta. We had Thunder Rosa, I'm glad to see her back, defeat Julia Hart. AEW World Tag Team title eliminator match, the Rascals, Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz defeated FTR of Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. J News, what did you think of this?
Another solid banger episode of Collision, man. AEW TV right now is very strong. The AEW Trios title match between Jet Set Rodeo and The Demand, I thought was just going to be like a run-of-the-mill match, and then it turned into something that was completely different. During Jet Set Rodeo retaining their championships here during the match, Jungle Boy or Jungle Jack Perry came out to cause a diversion on The Demand as he continues his feud with Ricochet. He just came out. They played his music. He came out to the stage or whatever the case is. He didn't go down to the ring. He used himself as a diversion. And the Jet Set Rodeo was able to take advantage and for that particular moment and get the win over Ricochet there. Jungle Jack and Ricochet continue their side feud and their side story. So keep an eye on that. More on that later on in the show. The Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nicholas Jackson, they defeated the Swirl of Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. I thought this match was way better than it had any business being. The Swirl definitely doing their best to show out against the Young Bucks here in this tag match. Man, the Bucks are the Bucks. The Bucks look like they are in the best shape of their careers. They're like at their peak right now, even though they say they're at the tail end of their careers. And then the Swirl, Blake Christian, Lee Johnson looking more cohesive as a team, looking real good as a team. So I would like to see more of the Swirl as a tag team on Collision and Dynamite going forward. The AEW tag team division is definitely strong, and they need to continue to spotlight it. The CMLL World Heavyweight Title match: Claudio Castagnoli versus Josh Alexander. Yet again, another one of those matches where I'm like, this is, it's gonna be fine. At the beginning, in the first segment of the match, the way we watch TV and whatnot, I felt like Claudio and Josh Alexander were taking it easy on each other. They were being really not easy. Sorry, let me rephrase this. I felt like Claudio and Josh were being super safe in the first segment of the match. When they came back from commercial, Claudio and Josh Alexander, for them, they went from 0 to 100 real quick. The match got super physical. They started doing stuff. Claudio, definitely nearing more of the side of his strength and using his strength to do all these awesome moves. And Josh Alexander, uniquely technical and uniquely one of those better finesse wrestlers, using his technical style and things of that nature, and his high impact style as well. Claudio Castagnoli getting the win here and retaining his CMLL World Heavyweight title. And I thought it was a better match that had any business being. We had Marina Shafir and Lance Archer on the side there, getting into each other's faces at one point, which I thought was funny. So there was that about that there as well. Megan Bayne, she had a squash match against Becca. Becca had her second match with AEW during the week here. This time, I think yesterday they were in San Diego. Yet again, like I mentioned, Becca is a West Coast independent wrestler. She got a chance here in a squash match against Megan Bayne. She made Megan look like $1 million. Becca did the job, and hopefully we'll see more of her as she continues to evolve in her wrestling career. The Don Callis family, El Clone, Konosuke Takeshita, and Mark Davis versus the Death Riders of John Moxley, Pac, and Wheeler Yuta. That was another great trios 6-man tag team match there. The Don Callis family getting the win this time around. This continuing the John Moxley versus Takeshita feud. AEW doing things the way that CMLL and New Japan do here with these prelim tag matches. Post match, we had John Moxley drop Konosuke Takeshita. Last week, we had Takeshita drop John Moxley. So they're continuously going back and forth there. Thunder Rosa came back here after 8 months of being away due to injury. Her not knowing whether or not she was going to be able to wrestle again. Thunder Rosa, I thought, looked great here in her return match versus Julia Hart, and it played up and it played well, and she spotlighted herself here. Julia Hart didn't do a bad job either. I thought Julia looked strong here in this match in a one-on-one. Conspicuous by her absence. I feel like Sky and Kyle might have gotten sick in Australia. Kyle Fletcher, that is, and Sky Blue. If folks didn't know, Kyle Fletcher and Sky Blue are married. And I know Kyle got sick, so I would imagine that Sky got sick as well, but she wasn't out there with Julia Hart as she usually is. This also ties into the Triangle of Madness. After the match and Rosa wins, there was an impromptu promo from Tekla in the crowd, as Tekla was in the crowd with a microphone in hand, basically egging on Thunder Rosa and calling her a perra and things of that nature. So it seems that we have the first side quest for Tekla here and the AEW Women's Championship, as she's probably going to take on Thunder Rosa at some point. Julia Hart tried to beat on Thunder Rosa after the match and sneak attack her, but Chris Statlander, Big Stat Daddy, came down to the ring for the save, and we had that there. So Stat Daddy still in the AEW Women's Championship picture. She's hovering around it right now, but that she's not going to get her rematch for a while. So we'll see as to what they get Chris Statlander to do. Probably take on Julia Hart or Sky Blue or someone else at the end of the day before she gets her rematch against Tekla. AEW World Tag Team title match, eliminator match here. I was surprised at the result here, but the boys from the Rascals, Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz, they defeated FTR. There was a lot of interference during this match, in the sense of during the tail end of the match, we got some run-ins and things of that nature, but the Rascals were able to, persevere and get the win here. So they get a future AEW World Tag Team title match against FTR before FTR takes on the Young Bucks at Revolution. To mention some of I already mentioned the Tekla promo bit. There was also a backstage promo segment with Tommaso Ciampa. He had an interview with Lexi Nair, basically stating that Kyle Fletcher not to forget about him because the Psycho Killer is coming after Sylvie, aka the TNT Championship. So we're gonna see Tommaso Ciampa play up his Psycho Killer character and go after the TNT Championship yet again. We also had a backstage promo segment with Private Party. Private Party basically having a party backstage with some beer pong and some drinking games going on with certain talents that don't get showcased on Collision on a regular weekly basis. We had the Outrunners back there, the Bang Bang Gang, surprisingly, Austin Gunn and a returning Juice Robinson in the segment. We also had Anthony Bowens back there, and then the boys of Private Party cut a specific promo, basically issuing an open challenge to anybody in the AEW tag division. And there was also an early on promo segment with the boys from the Rascals, where Desmond Xavier, Zachary Wentz, and Myron Reed were in the treehouse. And they were then challenged by FCR, which is why we ended up having that eliminator match at the end of the show. But there was a line during that promo bit where Zachary Wentz let Myron Reed know that him and Dez were the undefeated tag team. At the moment, the way he said it, and this is just me. The way he said it didn't sit right with me. The Rascals are brand new to AEW TV, and I don't want there to be any rift or dissension between the boys of the Rascals since they're so new. But that's a little bit of an Easter egg for folks to chomp on for a bit if they do start to do any sort of like of a dissension angle between any of the members of the Rascals. So hopefully it's nothing. But for me, it's like I'm working with my wrestling brain. I feel that's where they're fitting to take it. So all in all, I thought Collision was another strong banger episode, and AEW TV right now is on a hot streak.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying J News in the back with me. And we're going to go on to TNA Wrestling. TNA Thursday Night Impact, episode 1127 on the 19th on AMC. We had Andy Hartwell defeat Heather by Elegance. We had TNA International title match where Trey Miguel defeated Channing Lorenzo. We had Jody Threat defeating TB by DQ. That made me sick. Sinner and Saint, Judas Icarus and Travis Williams defeated BDE and Rich Swann. And we had a guitar case casket match where Elijah defeated Mustafa Ali. We had an army attacking everybody in between. J News, did you see any clips of this?
No, ma'am.
Listen, I thought AMC, the new network, new time would help them. I've gotten to the point now where I'm beginning to get like J News. I'm beginning to watch clips.
So
I'll go back and watch something if I want to.
Real quick thing, because I just saw the breakdown of the matches here, and I'm not sure if we're gonna cover this or not, but I want to bring this up. I see here Sinner and Saint, Judas Icarus and Travis Williams are a tag team. They defeated BDE and Rich Swann. I wanted to pinpoint Judas Icarus for a bit. Are we covering Prestige this week, Dolores?
I think yeah.
Okay, so I'll mention it when we get to Prestige. So at the end of the day, it was my first viewing of Judas Icarus as a
Yeah, we
professional
covered
wrestler.
Roseland. Yeah.
Yeah. Was this past weekend during the last show ever of Prestige Wrestling for the main event between him and Kevin Blackwood. And since we're covering that, we'll get to that when we get there. I only knew Judas Icarus by name, thanks to Dolores. Now I will be continuing to pay more attention to Judas Icarus.
Yeah, they just came from doing indie work. I initially saw him in GCW, then Prestige, sometimes in Progress. But they just got to TNA around right before the time they switched over to AMC. So then that's what they've always been the tag team by this name. They just now getting to mainstream where people on TV can know their name and see who they are. But they do a lot of great indie work. Ladies and gentlemen, on to our first indie show. It's Progress. Progress Pro Wrestling had Progress Chapter 190 in the brightest day. They had 2 shows this week, so that's great. We're going to start on the brightest day. It was on Triller TV on the 15th. We had a pre-show match where Aluna, I forgot who won that match, but Charles Crowley defeated Drew Parker. We had a super strong style 16-man tournament, 16 men's tournament first round match where Simon Miller defeated Josh Holly. We had a title change for the Progress Atlas title match where Gene Mooney defeated Saxton Hutley. Lycos Jim, which is Kid Lycos, and Kid Lycos II defeated Man Like Doris and Michael Oku. I was sad about that, J-Nose. Bullet, sorry, I pronounced his name wrong all the time. Defeated Spike Trivet. Progress tag team title match, Diamond Eyes, which is Jay Joshua and Nico Angelo defeated the Sunshine Machine of Chuck Mambo and TK Cooper. We had the Progress women's title match where Alexis Falcon defeated Rio. I enjoyed this show, but the second show I enjoyed a little bit more. So we're on to Progress Chapter 191 that happened on the same day on Triller TV. It was for the Love of Progress 4. Okay? And it had the Progress Tag Team title #1 contendership match where the Young Guns of Ethan Allen and Luke Jacobs defeated Sanity of Alex Tischer and Big Damo. With Sam Bailey defeat Kuga. We had PWC Ladies title match with Session Moth Martina defeated Melissa Fierce and to win the title. We had Kid Lycos defeat Spike Trivet. And for the strong 16 women's tournament 2026 first round match, we had Shotzi Blackheart defeat Lana Austin. We had Charles Crowley, Man Like Doris, and Simon Miller defeat Bullet, Jack Morris, and Saxton Hutley. I said I kind of like the second one more because it's more a little hard-hitting, less like, goofy stuttering stuff. So, because the G Money match, anytime you get that, you definitely gonna get goofy. And as J News talked about before, we'll be going into Prestige Wrestling. And it was Roseland, the end date, ladies and gentlemen. On this show, we saw C4, Cody Chun and Guillermo Rosas defeat American Guns, Ethan HD, and Mike Santiago, along with Los Suavistos. How you pronounce that, Jenna? Suavistos?
Where am I here? Los Suavecitos.
Suavecitos of Danny Rose and Ricky Gee. We had Brooke Havoc defeat Haley Dillon. Minoru Suzuki, I love him, defeated Matt Brendigan. We had Jordan Cruz defeat Ryan Clancy. We had Roseland Riot match. I'm down for a good hardcore match. War Machines, Drexel, Jaden, Spencer, Scott, and Zay Perez defeated United Front of Casey Ferreira, Cole Rivera, Elliot Tyler, and Sid Silem. We had a Roseland Rumble match, and the winner of that match was Ryan Clancy. We had a West Coast Pro women's title match where Johnny Robbie defeated Amira. We had the Prestige Tag Team title construction site match where there was a title change. The Hammer brothers won the match, ironically, of the construction match. Jack Hammer and Sledgehammer defeated the Midnight Heat of Eddie Pearl and Ricky Gibson. And last but not least, the match that Jay News mentioned that I loved on this show. It was a prestige title match where Judas Icarus won over Kevin Blackwood. Jay News, what do you got to say about this match? See, Jay News got them. Listen, watching indie shows? What are we doing?
No, I mean, there's certain indies that I watch. I've been watching Progress since 2014, 2012, 2013, something like that. Prestige just came about. It wasn't last night. It was 2 nights ago. I was looking for something to watch, and then I freaking got onto my YouTube or whatever the case is to see if there was any content that I had missed. And for whatever reason, the Prestige show was streaming live. Not for whatever reason, but
they did do on YouTube now.
Right. So for whatever reason, it came up on my feed. I don't follow Prestige. I never have. And I clicked on it or whatever the case is, and it turned on, and it was the main event. It was Judas Icarus versus Kevin Blackwood. I have always been in the know about Kevin Blackwood as a wrestler. I've seen some of his work before, and I thought that the dude was pretty good. Come to find out, listening to commentary, that this was Kevin Blackwood's last match. He's retiring at the end of the day. And then as I'm listening to commentary, I then come to also find out this is also the last show ever of Prestige Wrestling. And I'm there like, what the fuck's going on? So I'm a little confused. I don't know what's going on, but then I'm getting into the match, right? And they keep on, the commentators were heavy on this battle, this mythic, epic battle between Judas Icarus and Kevin Blackwood, and their feud and their matches at Prestige. And just continuing to watch the match and be there as a fan. I got so, and not be there, but just watching here at home as a fan. It was 3:00 in the morning here in the East Coast, because they're a West Coast brand at the end of the day. And I'm there like it's prime time at the end of the day, without screaming and yelling or whatever at the screen. And I'm there like, wow, I've missed this for all the years that they've been putting on shows. So it compelled me to write a tweet to Prestige, to let them know that I randomly came upon their live stream. And to sum it up, I randomly came upon their live stream on YouTube, never watched any of their shows before. And when I came up on their live stream, I came up on their main event, and the main event was amazing. And as a lifelong wrestling fan, I just wanted them to know that I'm glad and I'm happy that I got to see that match, even though it's my first and last match that I'll ever be able to see of a Prestige show, and my first and last full match I'll ever be able to see of Kevin Blackwood. That match, I feel, if it ever gets cut and edited and put online, folks should go out of their way to watch this Prestige title match between Judas Icarus and Kevin Blackwood. I don't feel like people are talking about it enough. People should be. The question the whole time, or should I say the bit was, is Judas Icarus a main event guy? He proved it. That Judas Icarus was a main event guy. He won
He's been a main event guy, and that's I think a lot of issue that some of us have had is like, why is he not? Now, Kevin Blackwood has always been that man.
Yeah.
Even in GCW and other things, he's been that man. That's the reason why I wanted to cover this show is, A, I wanted to see this fight. B, Prestige and HOG are one. Prestige, HOG, and I would say every once in a while GCW gives me a show consistently. If I know if HOG and Prestige is coming on, one of the two or both of them are going to give me a show where if I don't get one match, I might get multiple matches where I'm like, I love this show. And so, and when they became coming on YouTube a lot, it was more access, but also it became a little bit of the downfall of Prestige, because at that moment it's like, we see them going from a company where you have to pay for a platform to see them to now they're free and they're really not getting as much traction as they should or coverage. We covered them a lot here on the channel, but I felt like the HOGs, the GCWs, the other different companies have been getting a lot of notoriety, but this is something that most people didn't know about, and I love their shows. So I applaud them for like putting this on last because they know they were gonna give us a banger, and they did. And if you haven't, go back and watch it. It's still on YouTube. Go
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah. Because I start when the match when the main event and the show ended, the stream cut out, and then I went and I watched another piece of content for like 10 minutes, and then the show came back up on my feed, and I was like, let me start this from the beginning, and I saw the majority of the show up until the Allen Angels match that happened. My bad. I'm sorry, Dolores. Something happened there.
No problem. No bad.
Yeah, but I saw it up to the first match, up to the Allen Angels match and whatnot, because I've always been a fan of Allen Angels. And I said to myself, man, this show is gonna bang. And then just watching all these other talents and stuff like that, I was like, oh shit, Brooke Havoc's on this show. And I was like, I've always liked Brooke Havoc. And I was like, all right, cool. And for those who don't know, Brooke Havoc was also a part of the Lodestone Women that Bailey did the seminar for. And I wanted to see if Brooke had taken anything to heart, and if there's been any slight changes. And you can see that Brooke's working. There's a certain crispness to her style now, and I'm like, yeah. She took a lot away from that seminar, so I can appreciate that. I'm a big fan of Brooke Havoc, so Murder Grandpa being on the show was cool because I'm a longtime standing fan of Minoru Suzuki. And the Suzuki match I watched late, what was it, yesterday in the afternoon, and I'll get through the rest of the show probably today, because folks keep on really talking up Johnny Robbie and how improved she's been in recent times. So I want to experience that for myself. And I don't know a lot of the other, or I don't know or haven't seen a lot of these other talents that were on this prestige show.
Well, so, a lot of these talents you see most, for me, my introduction to them are through GCW. Mm-hmm. So that's how I get to see most of them. Even Minoru Suzuki wrestles a lot in GCW now, which most people are like, oh, that's the first time they see him. So even the people that come from AEW are coming through GCW to these companies. So it's like you see everybody. You might see a Brooke Havoc in a hardcore match. You've seen Kevin Blackwood in different hardcore matches. Then the talents go from like GCW to HOG to Prestige to this and that. And then once they kind of get enough buzz, then you see them get the tryouts with AEW and so on and so forth. And so it's like, and even, I'm going to be honest, even with AEW, when they get tryouts with AEW, that's how they get on the radar of WWE. So that is good to see, but I hate to see the company go. Hopefully, money-wise, financial-wise, they can get back up to running and doing like they was. It used to be like you saw smaller packed venues to now you would barely see people in there. So I can understand if taking a step back and maybe figuring things out and then coming back is the process. But I hate to see them go because it gave people an opportunity to see them, especially once they became the YouTube, where you could see them and see them on a basis where you didn't have to pay. Because with Triller TV, I can tell you the pros of Triller TV. You have a lot of different opportunities to see a lot of different types of sports, from bare knuckle fighting to wrestling to this and that. You can see GCW, HOG, everything. Now you can pay to see even mainstream people. Like they've had where you can pay to watch AEW shows and different other things. So this is opportunity to support local wrestling if you can. I've never been to a wrestling show because it's a long story. You know, my mama had a bad incident. So as a kid, and she was like, you know what? I'm not taking my kids. But now that we're adults, the kids want to go. And so now we're in the process of figuring out. That's why we were looking for Monday Night Raw tickets to take them to experience things that we love and they love too, because my nieces and nephews love wrestling too. So just support indie wrestling. Watch it on YouTube. Watch it on the Trilla TVs. Trilla TV is $9.99. Well, pretty much $10 is a change a month. And you get all the wrestling in the world you can watch. I watch wrestling, seems like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every week through Trilla TV. But we're going to go back to the back. We're going to go on to the next show I love this weekend. It was HOG. And guess what it was? It was No Turning Back, J News, because you can't turn back once you get in. It happened on the 20th too, but it was on Trilla TV. The main event, Jay Lion and Midas Black defeated the dual focus of JJP and KB Prime. We had Gabby versus Amira. Gabby defeated Amira, and for Joey Silver defeated Diamond Virago by DQ. That match got real little messy. Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn defeated the Wisdom Republic of Angel Jaquez and Idris Jackson. We had HOG heavyweight title match where Andrade El Idolo defeated Charles Mason by countout. We had an AEW World title match where MJF defeated Zilla Fatu. Listen, this is a great opportunity for Zilla Fatu. I appreciate that he came up to show up and show out. This is his opportunity to put his name on the radar for somebody to see. Also, if you ever been seeing his interviews or even he has live streams, his mom has live streams where she does like WWE, AEW content. She does watch-alongs live on TikTok. He's joined her a couple of times and had his own little wisdoms he dropped in there. I don't even know if you've seen J News. I don't forgot the man's name. They always ask the wrestlers about their Waffle House order.
Muscle Malcolm.
Yes. He asked Zilla if there was a fight in the Waffle House and he had to pick his best 5 people. Who he chose? He chose. I think he chose. I don't forgot. I know he chose Jacob, and I forgot who the other 4 people were. And then Muscle Man Malcolm looks at him and said, "And you ain't gonna choose Lance?" And he was like he was just like insulted. Like he's like, "Really? You think I'm gonna choose that man?" Hold on. It's getting sunny in my house. I gotta bring the camera close. He was almost insulted. He was like, so you ain't gonna choose Lance? Zilla was like, really? I know I'm not choosing Lance. I was like, Zilla is on the road. He's becoming more personable. He's becoming more fun. I appreciate seeing him more often. So I was glad he had this opportunity against MJF. It was shocking when MJF challenged him, but let alone he's gotten this spotlight. He's able to step up. I hope he gets a chance like Jacob to come into a place and show that he's outgrown this bad boy image. I also said it a lot about what's his name? I'm starting to call him by his government name, but the soft. He was with Big Bill.
Brian Keith?
No.
Oh.
In WWE, he was with Brian.
Oh, okay. Enzo.
Enzo, yes. Also, Enzo's outgrown this bad boy crazy image, and I hope he gets a shot too. So
you were talking about Zilla Fatu and how he's outgrown his or he's trying to outgrow his crazy bad boy image. He didn't do himself any favors this past week.
He did not. He did not. I was like, this guy was so great, and then you just
he didn't do himself any favors this past week.
Listen, we all got a bad moment. We all got
Booker T did not catch a stray. Booker T called a sniper shot from Silvatu. And it is what it is there, man.
But I have to admit, Booker has been on his podcast,
right,
throwing slick shots.
Yes, but that's what he does, though.
But no. For most people who don't understand the backstory, this is a part. Also, it's a part of a storyline.
Right.
And Booker and reality of wrestling have fought each other.
Right.
So it's a part of the storyline, but he kept it too real. And I was like, I know Booker was like, when I say keep it real, I mean keep it this real. I mean keep it. He listen. I was like, Zilla, you have to do all that, but you know what, sir? He don't mind. He just like his mama. If you ain't never been on his mama channel, she keep it like it is.
Yeah.
Like the way she has if she was a rapper, she done flamed not Umaga, what's his name? Rikishi. She done flamed Rikishi and she done burnt him to a crisp.
Yeah, there's definitely some interfamily issues.
It has interfamily. The crazy stuff is that what she said, your twins used to live at my house and we fed them. We showed them how to wrestle. My husband helped them get into the WWE, and you gonna sit up here like you done did everything? You didn't give them no money to feed them. You didn't come and see them. I was like, she was going down. She was like, hit boom, boom, boom. I'm like, have you been practicing this rap? You've been waiting all this time. Like, like a moment like this was playing in your head, and you was like, I'm coming out and I'm gonna throw it on the table. I was like, man was just hugging his 2 kids, and you was like, let me tell you about this man. I'll tell you about this man. This man ain't okay. He ain't come see his kid. He ain't feed him. He did nothing for him. He left him by the wayside. We had to pick him up and help him. We helped make them. And then what made it so worse is after she said all that, and people were online saying, that's so wrong. She ain't telling the truth. She saw them, I think, during WrestleMania week or some weekend, and they ran and dropped the mic and ran and hugged her. I was like, so they let you know whatever she said, correct.
Or at least there's some truth to it, right? At the end of the day. But to your point here, Zilla Fatu getting the spotlight match here with MJF. I didn't watch the match. I only watched the clip of MJF doing his MJF stuff at the end of the day to Zilla. So that went there. I also watched another clip of the event as well. Charlie Mason is a crazy son of a bitch. I will say that. I
don't forget who it was at GCW. They had this prison angle. You remember during one pay-per-view where they were coming out and everybody supposed to been like going to court and whatever, and Charles Mason was the one that got locked up out of all of them. So I don't know if he was injured. I think he was injured. He comes back. I don't forget the man's name. That tells you my brain isn't. But he's a big tall dude. He happens to be gay. And Charles Mason is peeking in his house.
What?
And this man is peeking in his house, outside, peeking in his house. And you can see through the binoculars, and you can see him like holding his husband and rocking back and forth. And it went like crazy because nobody knew that he was a part of the LGBTQ community. Because he got the chains, he's big, he's muscular, and he was just like rocking with his husband. And Charles Mason has did the most. He has went above and beyond crazy. And I looked at him and be like, is this just a character or is this who you are?
And I'll give you this. This is how sick some fans are, right? Or how much the lines between reality and kayfabe are blurred. When AEW was here in December in New York City, Charles Mason had a ROH match versus Satnam Singh, right? And the entire arena was cheering for Charlie Mason, cheering for this sick man in the head, because I've seen some of the clips of Charles Mason's stuff. And the reason as to why I said that Charles Mason's a sick son of a bitch, because the clip that started making the rounds from yesterday's show wasn't of Charlie doing something to Andrade Alidolo. Nah, it wasn't that. There was a girl, there was a beautiful young lady in the crowd. Her and Andrade were getting flirtatious. They exchanged numbers, and out of nowhere, you see Charles Mason bum rush the show and haluva kick the girl in the face. Not Andrade, not another wrestler, but the young lady who was just trying to get, at the end of the day,
he comes up with these crazy ideas. He was sitting back there with the girl, and he's like, "Okay, Andrade." He's like, "Can I kick you in the face?" Oh, that's how he is, and that's why he has the name Charles Mason. It's made after the stereo analyzer. Okay, that's why he has this. Actually, the name was that man's name. He changed it to Charles.
He changed it. Yeah, he changed it to Charles. That's right.
And so I'm like, sir, every time I see you, I'm guaranteed. That's why I love him in GCW. Every time I see him, I'm guaranteed it's gonna be a hardcore type of match. He's gonna do some crazy type of stuff, and I'm gonna be up there and be like, even I don't like this is a secret we're gonna keep between each other. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I don't like unaliving movies. Those type of movies, scary movies don't do me well. But I do like watching GCW. But even though sometimes, and that's real life, like they are really, crimson blood coming out. They are hurt. They are busted open where you can see stuff. I love to watch it. Okay. But Charles Mason even goes so bad sometimes where I'm like, oh, I can't even look. Oh, I can't look at it. Oh, when is the match going to be? Oh my God. I have to do that because he takes it far. They say take it there. He said, I'm going to take it beyond there.
The clip, the velocity in which he hit that girl with, I was like, what is wrong with you, dude?
He don't hold back. A man, a woman, he don't care.
There you go, Dolores. He did not hold back. That is the perfect term to use. He is all types of different. And
he's the definition of everybody can get it. Everybody,
exactly, right? Everybody's an equal opportunity offender to him. If he's given the opportunity, if he's given the chance on a bigger platform, I'd say look out for him because there's something real unique about Charles Mason.
I would say I think he's had a thing in the AEW, but I don't think they main platforms can handle the type of viciousness. It's not like you play vicious; he is vicious.
Right.
It's not like they're GCW and HOG and stuff. Like HOG calls him in every once in a while.
I mean, he's an HOG guy.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's like he's not on there as much consistently. This is the closest, as I would say, a big match moment he's had on HOG. But mostly it's GCW. I see him on all the time.
Yeah, because he's a local product here in New York. He trained out of the HOG school, and stuff like that. And he's in the last, I would say, 2.5 years, he's starting to branch out and whatnot, which is why you see him a lot in GCW and things of that nature, and in other indies. But yeah, man, I just wanted to mention Charles because to watch that clip, I was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I shouldn't have put this past him, but just to watch it, I was like, man, this is different. So I just wanted to mention that.
It's the fact when you go back and look at it, if you could just turn, like if you could turn your speed down a little slower. Andrade was even shocked. Homegirl got kicked.
His jaw dropped. Andrade was there stuck. He was like, what is happening?
Andrade was like, I know we like you. He moved out the way, so he knew the kick was happening. Okay, so wrestling, we know the kick is gonna happen, but I don't think he thought it was gonna be like that.
Right, exactly.
I don't even think she thought it was gonna be like that. She thought maybe, a little tooth to the face. He was like, nah, I'm taking your teeth into the 15th row. Here you go.
That was something else, man. I'm sure that's going to continue to make the rounds this week.
They had a conversation backstage. They were like,
I'm sure they did, but like that still, like I said, Charlie's different, man. Charlie's different, and it can be perceived in a bad way, but it also can be in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Depending as
Yeah.
to who's willing to take a chance on him. So, we'll see. We'll see, man. But I wanted to point that out. Folks, look the clip up on the socials. It's out there. If it hasn't gone viral already at the end of the day.
That whole match was like, I was like, Lord, have mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go back to the back and we're gonna talk about my favorite show. I love it every week. It is Game Changer Wrestling, and this time it's Holy Smokes. Because it was some smoking going on back there. We had JKM defeating Dante King, Gino Rivera, and Thugnificent. I said that right, Thugnificent. We had El Phantasmo defeat Alex Price. We had Cyclope and Viperous defeat Brothers of Funstruction, which is Ruffo the Clown and Yabo the Clown. We had Vendador defeat Ray Ores. We had Jordan Oliver defeat Hammerstone. We had Juicy Finale defeat CPA. We had Otis Cougar defeat Shotzi Blackheart. We had one called Manders and Effie ending no contest because guess what? They still hate each other. It's been a lifetime, and they still hate each other. We had GCW World Title match where Atticus Cougar defeated that big meaty man Sam Stackhouse.
Delores, I have a question for you. When was the last time you read a card with the name Juicy Finale on it?
That was that time he replaced Jacob, because it was been Jacob and Zilla together in a cage match. Zilla then got signed by WWE. He dropped out of the match, and then Juicy stepped in.
Right. That was damn near 2 years ago.
I don't know where he been. I don't know where he be looking, but
that's because I mentioned it for that reason. This is the first time I'm seeing his name on any card in quite some time. So I'm glad he's still wrestling because Juice. No lie, Juice is a big dude, but he can move.
He really is quick. I think Zilla might have picked him as one of the 5 to fight in the fight, Jacob and then Juicy, and I forgot who the other people were. Oh, he also picked the who was it? I don't forget. It was a tag team. He picked them, and then I was just like, and then that's when Malcolm was like, "What about Lance?" And he was like, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we all know Lance H." Back in the back, you know what time is it? It's time for the vocal stylings of J News, because we're going into the new beginning, the road to new beginning. New Japan Pro Wrestling, CMLL. Oh no, that's all right. Not road to beginning. We're going to Fantastica. That's a J News word. Fantastica Armenia, right? I don't know if I'm saying.
For those of us who are English speakers, it's Fantastica Mania. For those of us who get into it, it's Fantastica Mania. So let's get on with the show. I only think we have 2 shows. One that was on New Japan World. The first one was on the 18th, and the other one was yesterday. So we had the tag team tournament this time around. First round match, we had Los Viajeros del Espacio, Futuro and Valiente Jr. defeating Hijo de Stuka Jr. and Shomakato. Hechicero defeated Zayn J in a one-on-one match. In the other tag team tournament first round match, we had Averno and Magnus defeat Stigma and Tiger Mask. The other first round tag match, we had Atlantis and Atlantis Jr., father and son, defeat Cozy Max of Okumura and Satoshi Kojima, along with Tia Mima in the corner. She's still, man, listen. For those folks who don't know, Mima Shimoda is a legend in Japanese Joshi wrestling. YouTube her. Y'all will find out why. Philip Marlowe Jr. Philip Marlowe Jr. and Unbound Co. Bone Soldier Jr., Daiki Nagai, and Titan defeat El Desperado, Masatoru Yasuda, and 6 or 9 of Master Wato and Ryusuke Taguchi. In a Relampagos match, lightning match, we had Soberano Jr. one-on-one going against Templario in a 10-minute time limit draw. And then we had the last first round match of the tag team tournament of El Sky team of Máscara Dorada and Místico defeating Show and Último Guerrero. Along to the 21st, which was yesterday. This was the second streamed show on New Japan. of all the Fantastica Manias tour. So we had Hijo de Stuka Jr. and Shomakato defeat Bacteria, Suda, and Stigma. Los Viajeros del Espacio, Futuro, and Valiente Jr. defeated Unbound Codes, Bone Soldier, and Daiki Nagai. Cozy Backs of Okumura and Satoshi Kojima, along with Tiger Mask, defeated House of Torture members Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Yujiro Takahashi, and Magnus. Unbound Code, Shingo Takagi, Titan, and Yota Tsuji defeated 6 or 9 of Master Watson and Risuke Taguchi, along with Atlantis. Averno and Ultimo Guerrero defeated Atlantis Jr. and Templario. And then Hechicero, Sho, and Soberano Jr. defeated El Sky Team of Mascara Dorada, Mystico, and El Desperado.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the road because guess what? It's time for what? It's time for preview. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start again with the vocal stylings of J News from New Japan to CMLL. It is Fantastica Mia. Listen, I'm trying to be like J News, okay? And then we're on day 3.
Day 3, which was that happened this morning. We have matches to run down for you guys. So Hijo de Stuka Jr. and Shomakato are going up against Tatsuya Matsumoto and Tiger Mask. Cozy Max of Okumura and Satoshi Kojima, along with Ultimo Guerrero, are going to be facing off against House of Torture members Sho, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Yujiro Takahashi. 6 or 9 of Master Watson and Ryusuke Taguchi, along with El Desperado, Master Yasuda, and Stigma, will go up against Unbound Codes, Bone Soldier, Daiki Nagai, Shingo Takagi, Titan, and Yota Tsuji. We then have another Relampagos match, a Lightning 3-way match, which is going to have Hechicero versus Soberano Jr. versus Templario. That should be a banger. 10 minutes of nonstop action there. Fantastica Mania Tag Team Tournament semifinal match. We have Atlantis and Atlantis Jr. going up against Averno and Magnus. And then the other semi-final match, we're going to have Los Viajeros del Espacio of Futuro and Valiente Jr. going up against El Sky Team of Mascara Dorada and Mystico. On to day 4, which is going to be airing tomorrow. I'm going to be catching up with these shows today, as a matter of fact. Futuro and Masatori Yasuda are going to face off against Hijo de Stuka Jr. and Yujiro Takahashi. Cozy Master of Okumura and Satoshi Kojima, along with 6 or 9 of Master Watson and Ryusuke Taguchi, along with Shomakato, will go up against Unbound Codes, Daiki Nagai, Shingo Takagi, Taiji Ishimori, and Titan, and Yota Tsuji. Magnus and Ultimo Guerrero will face off against Stigma and Templario. In a Relampagos match, Atlantis will go 1-on-1 against Tiger Mask. Averno, Hechicero, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru will go up against Atlantis Jr., Mascara Dorada, and Valiente Jr. And then to end off the show, it's going to be El Desperado and Mystico going up against Sho and Soberano Jr. And then we have Tag Day 5, which is probably going to be the finals for the tag team tournament for Fantastica Mania 2026. We don't know as to who's going to be in the finals. We'll find out tomorrow. And then Day 6 will be the final show of the tour. We'll have the match breakdown is as follows: 6 or 9 Master Watson and Ryusuke Taguchi, along with Tatsuya Matsumoto, will go up against Los Viajeros del Espacio, Futuro and Valiente Jr., along with Master Yasuda. Titan will go 1-on-1 against Shomakato, probably in a Relampagos match. Cozy Mask and Okumura. Cozy Mask of Okumura and Satoshi Kojima, along with Tiger Mask, will go up against House of Torture members Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Yujiro Takahashi, along with Magnus. Shingo Takagi and Ultimo Guerrero will team up, and they'll go up against United Empires, Templario, and Zane J. Atlantis, Mystico, and Stigma will go up against Hijo de Stuka Jr., Sho, and Soberano Jr. Averno will face off against Atlantis Jr., probably in another Relampagos match. And then Hechicero will go 1-on-1 against Mascara Dorada in the main event of the show.
There is one more show, but it'll be after some things. But you have something else coming up. It is New Japan Pro Wrestling.
New beginning in the USA. Indeed, New Beginning in the USA will take place on February 27th, live in New Jersey. I believe I will be doing the preview for this particular show tomorrow on True Heel Heat. So if you guys want to preview the show, this New Japan, New Beginning in the USA show with us, go on to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. We'll be on at 105 Eastern Standard Time. To break down the card, we're going to have 1-on-1 Fred Rosser versus David Finlay, and what could possibly be David Finlay's final match with New Japan Pro Wrestling. NJP Strong Openweight title match. We're going to have Big Tom, Tomohiro Ishii, the champion, go one-on-one against Oleg Boltin. For the AEW National Championship title match, we're going to have Ricochet, the champion, go one-on-one against Taiji Ishimori. That should be interesting and exciting. El Desperado and Kushida will team up against Buster and the Brain of Alec Price and Jordan Oliver. We'll then have NJPW World Television title match. We'll have El Phantasmo, the champion, go one-on-one against Konosuke Takeshita in, I think, their third or fourth match. I forget which one it is. IWGP Tag Team title match. We're going to have the Knockout Brothers, Oscar and Yuto Ice, the champions, go one-on-one against GOA, Bishop Khan and Toa Leona of The Demand. And then we'll have the IWGP Women's title match. Shuri is going to go one-on-one against Athena. That should be a banger. And then for the IWGP Global Heavyweight title match, we're going to have Yota Tsuji, the champion, go one-on-one against Andrade El Idolo.
Ladies and gentlemen, now day 7 of
Fantastica Mania. So day 7 will end. It'll be on the 27th. So this particular show, it'll be on Japan time. So this show will be on in the morning. The New Japan, New Beginning in the USA show will be on at night. So to end the Fantastica Mania tour, we're going to have a special one-on-one match between Averno and Shomakato. Master Yasuda, Master Wato Stigma, and Tatsuya Matsumoto will go up against House of Torture members Sho Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Yujiro Takahashi, and Iho de Stuka Jr. Tiger Mask will go one-on-one against Magnus. Atlantis Jr. and Ryusuke Tsuguchi will go up against Cozy Mask, Mokumura, and Satoshi Kojima, along with Hechicero. Los Viajeros del Espacio, Futuro, and Valiente Jr., along with Máscara Dorada, will go up against Unbound, Koz Daiki, Nagai, Shingo Takagi, and Titan. Ultimo Guerrero will probably have a Relampagos match against Templario, and then Místico will face off against Soberano Jr. in a special one-on-one main event.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the next 2 shows are from my favorite people, but they only have 1 match listed. So let's go on over to GCW, ladies and gentlemen. I see him. We're going on GCW. What's my name? Listen, say it. What's my name? Delores. No joking. What's my name? Only has 1 match listed, which is for the GCW Tag Team title, YDMP, which is Alex Price and Jordan Oliver, defending against VNDL48, which is Atticus Cougar and Otis Cougar. We have Baller Blocking. The first show, What's My Name, is on the 27th on Triller TV. The next day is Baller Blocking on the 28th on Triller TV. And that only match that was listed was GCW World Title match. Atticus Cougar will be defending against Megan Bain. On to WWE. Next Saturday, you will be with me for the watch along of the Elimination Chamber. Ladies and gentlemen, we have these other matches. Again, this is set up last week, but we have some more participants. For the WWE, also, 7 o'clock is on ESPN. You have to have ESPN Unlimited if you're on Hulu. And so for the women's intercontinental title match, we have Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. For the Elimination Chamber match, we have Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, Kiana James has just joined. For the undisputed WWE title #1 contendership Elimination Chamber match, we have Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, and Trick Williams. And for the WWE World Heavyweight title match, we have CM Punk versus Finn Balor. That is the end, but we have some people again for Black History that we're spotlighting last week from the 16th to today, the 22nd. Okay, so I'm going to go over. I'm not going to go through all the saying all the names because I do not want to disrespect people's names. So 16. We're going to start off with where's she at? Where he at? It is York. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know who York is, please, this is interesting. York was an enslaved man who was the only African-American member of the Lewis and Clark expedition. A lifelong slave and personal servant of William Clark, York participated in the entire exploration and made significant contributions to its success. In doing so, he became the first African-American to cross the continent to see the Pacific Ocean. He has since become an American icon, and several monuments depicting him have been erected in his honor and legacy.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
You know what's ironic? Yesterday, I was watching some content on YouTube, and this has to do with York. I was watching some content on YouTube having to do with a specific town and or city in Oregon called Astoria. Astoria, Astoria, Oregon, was founded by Lewis and Clark on their expedition here in the West, which included the man that Delores is spotlighting here, York, and whatnot. So to me, it's super ironic that this even came to be. Me and Delores don't talk about this beforehand, so I just thought it was very ironic that this even came up, and I randomly watched some YouTube content having to do with his contributions to Western exploration.
Yeah, I was like, when I saw that, I was like, let me include him. For those who don't know, every day it's going to be 28 whole days. I put out at 12 o'clock on my posts a person who you might or might not know. I try to do a lot of people you don't know on the channel. And so when I saw him, I was like, oh, definitely. I wonder, it didn't say. And when I tried to look, I didn't. I kind of thought it was ironic that he was up near like New Jersey, New York area. And that kind of made me wonder, the York in New York makes me wonder, where did that come from? They said it came from something else, but I thought that was mighty ironic when I read about him. Let's go back in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to Charles Hamilton Houston. Charles Hamilton Houston was an American lawyer. He was also the dean of Howard University Law School and the NAACP first special counsel, and graduated of Amherst College and Harvard Law School. Houston played a significant role in dismantling Jim Crow laws, especially combating segregation in schools and racial housing covenants. He earned the title the man who killed Jim Crow. Houston is also well known for having trained and mentored a generation of Black attorneys, including Thurgood Marshall, future founder of the director of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, the first Black Supreme Court justice. He recruited young lawyers to work on NAACP's litigation campaigns, building connections between Howard University and Howard University law schools. So listen, maybe you didn't know about him. Next up is Sarah Parker Raymond, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She was an American-born British literature activist, abolitionist. Listen, my tongue is tired today. Campaigner and Italian physician. Born a free woman in the state of Massachusetts, she became an international activist for human rights and women's suffrage. If you all do not know, Women's Health Month is next month. So we'll be talking about that too. She made her first public speech against the institution of slavery when she was 16 years old and delivered speeches throughout the northeastern United States. One of her brothers, Charles Lennox Raymond, became known as the orator, and they occasionally toured together for their lectures. So, listen, ladies and gentlemen, there she go. Now, most people know, James Arthur Baldwin was an American writer and civil rights activist who garnered acclaim for his essays, novels, plays, and poems. In his 1953 novel, Go Tell It on the Mountain, has been ranked by Times Magazine as one of the top 100 English language novels. His 1955 essay collection, Notes of a Native Son, helped establish his reputation as a voice for human equality. His 1965 debate with William Buckley is regarded as one of the most influential debates on race in the United States. Baldwin was an influential public figure, orator, especially during the civil rights movement in the United States. And this is the name that J News might have to help me with. Because I don't know, I can't pronounce it.
Lauda Equino, I think, maybe.
Yes.
Or Equan, I don't know.
He was a writer and abolitionist. According to his memoir, he was from a village, Essaka, in the present day southern Nigeria, enslaved as a child in West Africa. He was shipped to the Caribbean, sold to a Royal Navy officer. He was sold twice before purchasing his freedom in 1766. He had to purchase his own freedom. Listen, Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. I tell you, she been married a couple of times. Was an American abolitionist, suffrage poet, temperance activist, teacher, public speaker, and writer. Beginning in 1845, she was one of the first African American women to be published in the United States. And then today, 2 hours ago, we talked about Robert Abbott. He was an American lawyer, newspaper publisher, and editor. Abbott founded the Chicago Defender in 1905, which grew to have the highest circulation of any Black-owned newspaper in the country. Abbott founded the Bud Bilkin Parade and Picnic in August of 1929. The parade, which has developed into a celebration for youth, education, and African American life in Chicago, Illinois, is the second largest parade in the United States. So, those are the spotlights of the week. J News, did you have anything you wanted to say about what you've learned today?
As always, very informative, very educational to me. Only person of the list that Delores brought up that I knew, as she mentioned, because he's a bit more known and famous, was Mr. Baldwin, Mr. James Baldwin. I came to know about Mr. Baldwin as an adult in my 20s. A lot of his, I chose to read on my own time, and of my own volition, his books and his essays and things of that nature. And a friend of mine told me about him and made me aware of his importance and influence in America and during the civil rights movement, and what he meant to so many, not only as an artist, but as a human being and as a person who carried the flag for his people, not only Black people, but Mr. Baldwin was, if I'm not mistaken, he was of the LGBTQ community as well. So very ahead of his time, and just wanted to mention that. Everybody else that you mentioned, Delores, was of news and education to me. So that is what I think you do this for, and gotta appreciate it.
Yeah, I like to spotlight different holidays, different things, different people, so people can get to know people. Like next month, we'll be dropping a couple of gems, not like every day like we did this time, but for Women's Health Month, because women, we got to take care of ourselves. We can't put ourselves last. How can we save other people? We can't save ourselves. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back to the Hit the Road Studio podcast. It's time for the good brother J News to tell you about himself. Go ahead, J.
As always, folks, thank you for tapping in and watching us here every week, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. Hit the Ropes podcast with me and the lovely Delores on our respective YouTube channels. That is my QR code there on the screen. It sends you to my social media feeds, that be it on Twitter and or Instagram, and also to my Letterboxd account, where I post and review movies in writing. So if you guys want to get long form or even short form written reviews about movies that are currently in theaters, I do that on Letterboxd. So check me out there. And as I mentioned before, during the New Beginning in the USA preview spot, I'll be on True Heel Heat tomorrow afternoon at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, doing the preview for the New Japan New Beginning in the USA show. It'll be me, SP3, and Sanal doing our breakdown and preview of that show. And then the show is on the 27th, which is next Friday. So I believe we'll be doing the review on the following Monday of the show there. So stay tuned for that there. And yeah, that'll do it for me for this week. Appreciate y'all as always. And thank you for watching and listening.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to give y'all a 2-piece and a biscuit because you ain't going to check out J News, okay? You better, okay? Because I hate to say it, even after I saw that documentary where I believe she's just mean and evil, but I was rooting for you, okay? I was rooting. You didn't see the documentary?
What documentary?
About Tyra and the Next Top Model people.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It was laid out like, you know how like they do the Serial Unalive documentary. That's how they did her.
Damn. Okay.
She was bad. They had people who had been assaulted on camera. She had them keep recording. I forgot the episode. It wiped out my memory. The episode where she had people swap races. So she had painted people our color and us and their color. I was like, ma'am, you were doing too much. You were doing way too much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to shout out these people really quick. Miss Joy is live in color every 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for her crafting on Monday. So tomorrow you'll see her. On Thursdays, Miss Joy does community prayer. So if you have on any one of her videos or even the video, it's on Miss Joy Praise channel. Drop down in the comment if you have somebody you want to get prayed for. We'll add them to the list. Also, check out Miss Shirley, the OG Gardener, every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen, I be having it over there. We be having it over there jumping J News. See, sometimes J News, Miss Shirley's live goes down. And so we don't start playing, Sister Kate don't start making music. So we over there jumping. We having a good time. And she telling us about life. We just had a 1,800 giveaway with Miss Shirley last Thursday. You should see it. We had a good time. People laughed. We just learned, loved, and laughed with each other. Ladies and gentlemen, also check out Just Gifted. Listen, she put them baskets together. Listen, I went to put a basket together this weekend. I thought about it and I said, that's not my ministry anymore. I'm going to let that go. Because Just Gifted got it just fine. Make sure you go check out her channel. She shows you shopping hauls, how she puts the baskets together, the things she does. Please go check her out. If you haven't, ladies and gentlemen, go over there and check out Workhorse Wrestling Network. Go on and gallop on over there to Workhorse Wrestling Network and check them out. They do a lot of AEW content. So please go check them out. I'm more, because they don't do WWE anymore, we kind of split. So I do WWE, they do AEW, we fine. Also, ladies and gentlemen, check out Jaleel757, best moderator in the world. Listen, he be over there at Twitch just sniping them from the bush. So I appreciate him all the time. Last but not least, please go check out theeducatednatural.com. I said theeducatednatural.com. Because we have the women's closet. Listen, me, Tag, and Tim having a good time in there. I wish y'all could see what we see and hear what we hear. Because it'd be a good old time in there where we can talk about some of the things that we feel we need to get off our chest, get some of the answers that we need, but also just laugh and fellowship together. So please check it out. When it comes to me, I will be here next Saturday, 7 p.m. for the Elimination Chamber. Okay? Your girl is here. When in doubt, Delores is coming out. WWE. Okay. So also check that out. Ladies and gentlemen, be on the lookout because once I get a concrete date, I mean, not a date, but a time, because they like to move stuff sometimes. I will definitely, because I won't be putting up the collective, because it'll be up to be determined with the collective. I will be putting up night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania for you all to lock it in so you all have it. I don't see any other pay-per-view scheduled in between. I think NXT might have one, but I'm not for sure. Hi, 10. I appreciate 10. Listen, find you a 10 in your life. Okay? I got a 10. I know how that sounds when I say it, but she is a 10. She is a 10. 10 is a 10. I need a 10 in my life. And also go join her other channel. She's crafting. Okay? Y'all don't see me craft out here in the daylight because y'all crafters like to fight, and I ain't got enough time to be throwing enough hands. Okay? But 10, she's going to be crafting over there. Vinyl, rhinestone. Now, J News, last time I mentioned this on the channel, I woke up to a Wednesday Night Live where 10 had me and a few other people on the live thumbnail saying that we were snitches. Okay? And I said I wasn't a snitch. I was just trying to be informative. Okay? So now that she got the channel, I'm just being informative. That's not snitching. That's being informative. Okay? I'm just telling good people about your goodness. Okay? Now that you out there with it, you know, you got to accept it. Just like I tell people about J News and the movie reviews. Also, I ain't forgot. J News think I forgot. I ain't forgot. Also, J News out here with the fitness tips. Okay? Out here with helping you slim your body down. Listen, J News gave me a couple of tips, and I want to tell y'all, I lost about 10 pounds. Okay, when I stepped on the scale at the doctor's office the other day, I said, hey, you, me, we together. Okay? So if you want to lose some weight, you might want to get with J News too. He'll do some video chats with you, you know, but we don't work for free. Okay? That's the key. We ain't no free around here. You got to pay. Not a lot, but enough to make sure you get skinny and my pockets get fat. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it's true, J News. Listen, I can help people with graphics. I can give you a lot of graphics. I'm also looking for a lot of money. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all coming. But as you all know, it's time. It's time. It's time for what? Oh, wait a minute. I just heard some shooting. Wait a minute. Hold on. Somebody's shooting somewhere. Oh, somebody's shooting somewhere. Oh, my God. There's a fire. There's a fire. There's a fire. Oh, in time. In time, J News. Because baby girl, baby boy, this is the fire is out here. They shoot left and right. Please keep your clothes on. Just swerve to the left and the right. That's all you got to do. Duck and dodge. Duck and dodge. That's what you got to do. Okay? Because I ain't trying to see all that. But I think I got something that'll help you, and so they won't see you while you ducking and dodging. As if you just cut the lights out. See, look, you can't see me while I duck and dodge. Okay, they just pop out in the wilderness. Okay, I can hear 10 now. Yep, see, they be telling me don't work for free. Okay, now J News tell me too. Because J News know that J News can get you skinny now. He can get you skinny and get you in a good movie. Okay? Skinny and a good movie. Tell me a man who can't do both of them. Get you skinny, get you right, get you tight, and get you to see a good movie. Tell me where you can find that at. And I'll tell you a lie, and the truth ain't in you. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, me and J News will be back, as you all see. From now on, we'll be scheduling the whole month ahead of time. So if you see any changes, you'll get a notification. Any changes of the dates and the times and the this and the that, you'll understand. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next week, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, actually, let's clarify that. I'll see you Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for some games and some fun. Now, if you don't show up, I'm not going to two-piece and a biscuit you, but I will scream in your face. Okay? So come back 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. And then also come on Sunday for the Hit the Ropes podcast, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we review and preview all things in professional wrestling. Until then, peace.